Tell your mates to subscribe to us. Tell your mates to watch our videos. The channel's dying. We need your help.
With that, welcome back to the Cricket Nerds Podcast. It's good to have you all here today. We love every single person who's watching this video. You make a massive difference. But anyway, today we've seen a game between James's beloved Punjab Kings, who have sadly fallen short in the chase against the Delhi Capitals. So let's just get straight into it. Benji, were you happy today with what happened with the first ball of Delhi's innings?
Warner got a golden duck. Warner got a golden duck. It was the best thing. Liam Livingstone, hero of the whole game, getting Warner first ball. How good was that? I mean, it was a terrible shot choice. Lovely ball, lovely flight from Livingston. Smash straight to backward point. But it was glorious. What a way to start a game. I do have to apologise to Punjab for ruining their promotion, their playoff chances by predicting that they were going to win yesterday. I feel partially responsible. I feel like someone needs to go through and actually check how many predictions I've made that have gone wrong. Because Delhi came out, they lost that first wicket, and then they just did so well. Like, they hit 7, 8, 9, about 10, 11 boundaries in the first 6 overs and had a very good power play score of 59 for 2, which they were able to build on and get to a score that seemed at the time a little bit light. I think Mitch Marsh and Sarfaraz Khan played really well and played really well together, that allowed the rest of the order to, well, they sort of crumbled until Akshar Patel came in and ended the innings and was a bit of a over my dead body type of batting. Although there was some very decent death bowling from Punjab, and especially good bowling from Liam Livingstone. What do you think about that, James?
Yeah, it was good to see him actually get a ball. He's been given a bit more responsibility now with the ball, which is good. And you could tell it was turning a lot because, you know, he was really good. he was hitting the right spots. He was turning it away from every player. No matter if you're a left-hander or a right-hander, that's his gift. And, you know, 4 overs, 3 wickets, an economy of 6.75. Absolutely brilliant. And it was the theme with all of the spinners, really, because Rahul Chahar was also very cheap, went at under 5s and over. The only spinner of both teams, actually, that didn't go very economically or bowl very well at all was Harpreet Brar, which is a real shame because, you know, last season he was so good with the ball. And this season he's, you know, he just hasn't looked good. It doesn't look like he's able to get turn, which, yeah, isn't great to see. And
best retention ever?
Well, we didn't retain him. We just bought him back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, you know, there is that, but still, like, there are other players we could have gone for. Like, we could have saved the money on him and gone for Shabazz Ahmed, which would have been nice. But, you know, hindsight's 2020. And this is a game of 2020 in which Punjab had a power play that Zach's going to talk about. What a segue.
Let's just mention Johnny Bairstow. Don't bowl anything back of a length because he will just whip it square for 6. I don't know how he plays that shot. I've tried to play that shot before. It doesn't work, but I'm not a very attacking batsman, so that's probably why. But it's literally, it's the most dismissive, disrespectful shot on the planet, in my opinion. The fact that someone can bowl a nice back of the length just outside off, and he just slogs it for 4 or 6, and it's
rude.
Effortless.
It is rude.
It is a rude shot, but it's good to watch, especially if you're a Punjab fan or you like Johnny Bairstow. And I think he should use that in the Test match. There's no point nicking it to first slip. Just whack it through mid wicket. Why not?
Zach did a nice drawing for us of how to bowl to Johnny Bairstow.
I did.
And if I can be bothered, I'll put it in now because it was very insightful.
Yeah, it took me about 2 minutes to put together, but yeah, it outlines how you get out Johnny Bairstow. He was ably supported by Shikhar Dhawan, who is very consistent. He's batting very well, but didn't make a massive impact on the game. And after that, it kind of just capitulated for Punjab Kings. As soon as Johnny Bairstow went out, there was no one offered much with the bat other than Jitesh Sharma and a bit of Rahul Chahar at the end. But by that time, it was too late. And yeah, I think Delhi bowled very well, really, especially Shardul Thakur and his support from Kuldeep Yadav and Axar Patel, who didn't go for any runs. But yeah, Ben, do you like a bit of Lord Thakur? What you think?
He did. You're right.
I think he did bowl quite well though, and I think like taking the 4 wickets, potentially a little bit more expensive than he wanted to be, but 2 good wickets in the power play of 2 batters who looked quite in. There's not more that you can really ask for there. And yeah, he sort of bowled them out of the game at the end with picking up those late wickets. Yeah, and in general, he looked quite tidy. But what were your sort of overall thoughts on Punjab today, James?
I thought it was a real shame, actually. It kind of made me just a bit sad to watch them because it was they've talked, they kind of went through this progression where they were like, right, we're going to be aggressive, and that was going to be the game plan. And they sort of, they were going to play the stats, which kind of dictate that the team that really goes aggressive, they're going to win about 60% of the games. So just go for it and let the stats play out. And then they sort of thought, well, we're going to do that, but we're going to play a bit sensibly as well. And that started to give them some success. And then this game, the one that got me the most, I think, was Liam Livingstone. There was no need for him to try and charge down the track because he knew it was turning. Okay, he was bowling very well because it was turning, and he tries to run down the track to Kuldeep Yadav, and he gets stumped. And we needed maybe like 8 runs and over by that point, so it was very, very doable. All they had to do was knock it around. An absolute valiant effort from Jitesh Sharma. He was absolutely brilliant. So overall thoughts were just, it wasn't sensible. And all we needed was to be sensible. So it's just a bit of a shame, really. But, we move onwards and upwards, I guess.
Well, you can.
It's a bit of a sad one. So, I just want to hear a cool tune. So let's have Cricket Nerds questions. Okay. So, first Cricket Nerds question is on a previous video. It's from ONT, long-time subscriber, an absolute legend. He said, please will you set out permutations that will give RCB a playoff spot? So, Zach, give us some scenarios, mate. I know you're the stat man.
Yeah, it's at this stage of the competition, I love to look at all the possible options. And usually it's very complex, whereas this season it's not, because there are only 2 teams really who can qualify for that 4th spot, because Lucknow Super Giants, Rajasthan Royals and Gujarat Titans are all pretty much there. I don't see Lucknow Super Giants losing out on the spot because of Royal Challengers Bangalore's net run rate. I think there would have to be a margin of victory of like 160 runs over both of the Royal Challengers games and the Lucknow Super Giants games for that to happen. So it's between the Delhi Capitals and Royal Challengers. Now, Delhi Capitals' last game is against the Mumbai Indians, who are sat bottom of the table. So the likelihood of them winning is quite high. And the Royal Challengers Bangalore are playing the Gujarat Titans, who are sat top of the table. So the probability of them winning is quite low. However, it's the IPL, anything can happen. So if whoever wins, right, out of those teams, if Delhi win, they're probably through. If Royal Challengers win and Delhi lose, then Royal Challengers are probably through. Yes, Benj?
What if they both lose, Zach?
That's what I'm coming on to, Benj. So if they both lose, then Kolkata Knight Riders and Punjab Kings are in with a chance because they can get to 14 points and potentially get through on net run rate. However, the chances of Punjab doing that aren't very high because they're on a negative net run rate. Whereas for Kolkata, on a positive net run rate, there's a slim chance. So there's possibility for 4 teams to qualify. And Sunrisers could also qualify, but their net run rate's so bad that they won't. So it's realistically Delhi Capitals at this point in time, sadly, as a Royal Challengers fan. And maybe Delhi will win the whole thing. Who knows? Maybe.
It's been a bit of a naff season for our 3 teams, actually, hasn't it?
It has.
A second Cricket Nerds question is from PD, who, again, is an absolute legend. He said, Nick from Cricket for Americans, shout out to them, in a video titled, Will Gujarat Titans Pull a 2008 Rajasthan Royals, drew a parallel between the 2008 Rajasthan and Gujarat, while predicting that Gujarat might lift the trophy. But what do you think about Rajasthan Royals repeating their 2008 feat in honour of the legend Shane Warne? I think Gujarat Titans and Rajasthan Royals might meet in the final. So it's an interesting one, that. Go on, Benj.
Very interesting. I think looking at it right now, it's likely, it looks on paper like those 2 teams could be the finalists. But it is the IPL. Anything can happen. But there is, and I agree, a little bit of a parallel between Gujarat and Rajasthan. If you just look at our prediction videos, we had written Gujarat off. We had Gujarat at the bottom spot. All of us did. And we all had Sunrisers next bottom. So we were nearly not, we were very wrong about how the table was going to look. Let's be honest. But we all wrote Gujarat off, and they all wrote Rajasthan off in 2008. And we know it's the IPL and anything can happen. What do you always think about that?
It's a fix. No, Rajasthan, I think, with Rahul, Yuzvendra Chahal and Ravi Ashwin as the 2 spinners, Joss Butler opening the batting, Devdutt Padikkal in form. There's a lot of good things going Rajasthan's way. Also, Trent Bolt, Lasith Malinga, the bowling coach. They've got a good thing going, do Rajasthan. The only thing that's going against them is recent form. They've only won 2 of their last 5 matches. So that's the only thing really standing in their way. So, yeah, I as much as I think they'll get to the final, I don't think they're going to win.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be Gujarat or Delhi.
I think Joss Butler going off the boil has been quite a big thing for them.
Yeah.
And if he finds form again, then there's no reason why they can't win every single subsequent game they play. But yeah, it's an interesting one. But at the moment, it's looking like Gujarat are going to win just because they've got the players that we'd written off. Miller, who was inconsistent for years, and Tawatia, who we just weren't sure if he could actually replicate his finishing role. Those 2 being like 2 of the best players in the league, as it turns out, has been huge for Gujarat. And yeah, they've been absolutely amazing. So we'll leave it there. Leave your Cricket Nerds questions down below and we'll answer them in the next video or the next IPL one. And yeah, it's been great seeing you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell your friends about us. We're constantly looking to grow. We're strongly aiming for 310 subscribers. So help us reach our goal. And
yeah, 310.
310 is a big one. We're just aiming to not lose anymore. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Listen to our podcast. We are on all podcast networks. So give us a listen, give us a watch, and tell your grandmother about us. So yeah, we'll see you guys later. Goodbye.